two very important systems that influenced Southern Kung Fu in the Fujian province is, of course, White Crane Kung Fu and Taizu Quan. And White Crane Kung Fu I've talked about often, Taizu Quan I've talked about on a few videos. But basically the combination of these two systems gives the foundation of the 5 ancestor systems that came out of Fujian province. So obviously, as we know, the 5 ancestor systems have the influence of Bodhidharma's I Ching Jing, has the initial, Lohan, and has the monkey elements into it. But the two predominant systems are Yongchun White Crane and Taizu Quan. And the specific system that I practice, which is called Tiger Crane combination, is basically Taizu Quan and White Crane. Taizu Quan is just referred to as tiger because a lot of the Fujian styles, a lot of the Fujian tiger styles were based on Taizu Quan power production. So Master Ung, the patriarch of our system, decided to call it Tiger Crane combination because he combined the two systems in his system instead of calling it Taizu Crane. But actually the system that I practice is a combination of Taizu Quan and White Crane. So today's video, what I want to talk about is a specific thing of why those two systems, why the White Crane system and Taizu Quan work so well together, and why they round each other off. And I'm going to talk about power production in Taizu Quan, and I'm going to talk about power production in the White Crane system. So if we look at the timeline, the history, Taizu Quan is older than the White Crane system. So it's very possible that Fan Qiniang, the founder of the White Crane system, learned a lot of Taizu Quan because it was, in the area, in the Fujian province where she was from. Taizu Quan was out there. A lot of people practiced it. So it's inconceivable to me that she didn't know Taizu Quan. Her father was a great master as well who taught her. So I'm pretty sure she learnt Taizu Quan from her father. And then the story goes, she saw a White Crane while she was washing clothes and was trying to use her staff to get it to shoo away, but it kept avoiding and moving, and she decided, oh, that's interesting. And some stories go, she decided that it was the crane immortal who came to teach her lessons, and she developed the White Crane system from it. So just to talk about the different power productions in Taizu Quan and in White Crane and why they complement each other so well. So Taizu Quan is mainly concerned with developing the martial dantian, the belt channel as we call it, which is about whipping in this horizontal plane. So you see a lot of Taizu Quan practitioners, their power production, a lot of the training is this this kind of whipping power from the waist to bring out this devastating, striking power coming forward. And it does a lot of damage, because you're using all of this, connecting it up to the core, connecting it up to the feet, and you're just creating power. And you can see how a lot of the Okinawan karate styles developed this from what they learned from the Fujianese stylists. This very, very, very similar to karate when you're like, we have the same whipping power in Taizu Quan. But then White Crane came along and went, this is great, but what if we add an up and down power, the vertical power? So that's why you see a lot of White Crane forms which are teaching you the body method. There's a lot of up, down, flow, down. Less of this, but much more of this. You see? So Taizu Quan will have White Crane is more up, down. And then what we're doing is we're adding the Taizu shake to focus the power, but the power comes up down, right? We're using this, what's it called classically? Yeah, it's called borrowing from the earth, borrowing from the heaven, coming up, coming down. The arms are a lot more floaty, and we can use this snapping from coming up and down. So there's a lot more up and down. And I can hear some of you say, yeah, but White Crane also has this whipping power. Well, yeah, because White Crane, in all likelihood, was actually built on Taizu Quan. Taizu Quan was older, and it was predominant in the area, like I said. So they've taken this, and they've added the up and down movement. And that's why it becomes such a beautiful, complete system. So you've got like a typical Taizu Quan form where you're coming in and you're hitting using this power, you know. And then you've got a typical White Crane form where you're stepping in, up, down, shake, come in, bring that power up from the floor, expand, and then you come back down. So you can really see the difference between Taizu Quan and White Crane. And if we take it further, if we look at Tai Chi, you know, Taizu Quan, not Taizu Quan, Tai Chi, Tai Chi. And we look at a specific lineage of Tai Chi which came through Master Huang Shengxian. Master Huang was a White Crane stylist, and I think he was a calling crane stylist. And you can see in his initial loosening exercises where he's actually incorporated this into his system. So you've got these exercises where he instructs students to stand straight, to release down to the feet, and then come up, and then down, and then come up, down, and then come up, which develops that up and down force, the up and down jin, that you come meet the floor, and then release to come up. And that feeds into the form, or his other loosening exercises where you're coming up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm by no means a Huang Tai Chi expert, but because I've done White Crane for so long, I can see the influence of the White Crane system in his method of Tai Chi Chuan. And some people actually call his Tai Chi Chuan Huang style Tai Chi because it's an influence of what he learned from Chen Manqing and his own White Crane training that he brought in. Sometimes a lot of these different systems that came out of the five ancestor fist systems from Fujian province, these Hokkien styles, are often seen as like one big whole, but they all bring in a distinct thing into Southern martial arts, Southern Chinese martial arts. And this is just a small example of how the White Crane system and Taizu Chuan view power production.